What we do in our pastime is we do metal detecting, and we find all the spoons they take out of our kitchen. That's usually what we find out here. The little man over there is trying to strike it rich. And sometimes you find some cool stuff. We found a horseshoe. Oh, a little beep down there, I think. Let me go dig this up. If you don't see me anymore and all my next videos are in Hawaii, you know what happened. So for a long time we lived over on that section of the property. As you can see, it's all fenced in with 4-foot mesh. It worked out great, kept out everything. Now we're over here. I built a tiny house, a pond, a trailer. So now we're getting this section done the same way. This right here is pretty good for most snakes, most stuff, and can't get through this mesh. Now what I'm also going to do is go back and buy the 1/8 inch and put it across the very bottom. That two combined, nothing gets through. Now, I'm going all the way across, all the way down. I'm making myself kind of like a little front yard here, all this space. Because we have not just the green Mojaves, which are 6 times more poisonous than a regular rattlesnake, but now we have in the area coy wolves, which are now killing livestock. Shih Tzu dragged this through the fence yesterday as he was right over the fence this way in these bushes. Now, to kill something that big, to be able to kill that, you have to have a bigger head with bigger muscles for the jaw, like a coy wolf would have. So they can actually take down like a small cow or a mid-sized donkey like this. That's going to have to be a decent-sized animal. You have to figure out more fencing to keep the children in a very close area where I'm at, and to also keep out the snakes. Now, this fencing right here, they can hop over this stuff, but when I'm out here in the middle of the day and there's just 1 or 2 at a time, they'll run the fence, and it kind of makes like a barrier. So it gives me time to react, and I know where the kids are at, and this keeps them in a smaller space. Because we are dealing with acres and acres, and you're dealing with all this creosote here. You can't. They just blend into the background, which ain't gonna work for me. So, as much as I love the nature, where I live, it's all cleared. I took everything out, everything including the stump, because I'm able to see the ground, make sure there's no snakes or anything's there, and also to see my children from you know, a little distance, 5, 10, 15 feet away. So that's my new project. I have the line going all the way here. I'm starting to go the other direction, come right back around to the little tiny house, which is the same thing that I have over there for the plants. So this is what I'm gonna do in the next couple of days. I'm gonna go ahead and tie them up here, dig this in. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it has to be done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig it down about, I don't know, here, 3, 4, 6 inches. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack a whole bunch of dirt on the other side, make it pretty high. And just so, mainly this is for snakes and a little bit of the rodents, but mainly this is a snake fence. You know, I'm not here trying to keep out things that really are going to dig in. So, also what I like to do is I always patrol everything. I take a look. So if I see something dug underneath, which is the rodent, put down a trap, get rid of the rodent, fill back in a hole. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to dig this down probably 6 inches. Then I'm going to pack that back. Then I'll put dirt on that pretty high, like a berm up top. And that way it'll get me a good foot. So when something goes at this, they're going to go right at the edge, right at the middle. They're not going to get inside. That's what I did over here. Works out great. Probably ultimately the deeper the better. But, you know, out here with this caliche layer, it's pretty hard for me to dig. Because once you get down to a certain level here, it just really starts getting white, and it really starts getting hard packed in here. Now this has already been graded once to kind of almost this area, but no, actually the grading is actually right behind you over here. So what happens is over here, you get to this area where it's that caliche layer, where it's like this thick white cement, and it just, forget it. It's almost impossible to dig through that stuff unless you use a pick and you're sitting here all day. And I'm literally seeing sparks. Like just, it's like digging through concrete. So.
Do you wonder how you make this dirt? Step 1, how to dig it. Step 2, you have to shake it like this. And then you have some nice, smooth dirt. Like no rocks and junk in it or sticks. Just so smooth. You can really just plant something or put your creatures aside. Otherwise this dirt is smooth enough to put a tortoise.
As crazy as it sounds, the sun out here in Arizona is just different. I mean, right now it's 75 degrees. It already feels hot. It's going to hit 29, I think, the low, and the weekend it's going to shoot back up to the low 40s. But Arizona heat just always feels heat, and it just goes from kind of hot to oh my god hot to just absolutely just your feet, your shoes just melt to the ground hot, and then it just dives off a cliff to cold, and then it just shoots right back up to a rock. Some juveniles can get through here, and but most rattlesnakes, 99%, ain't gonna get through this. But and then on this side, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna take this, put it on the back side, and dig it down in, put it across the back here. Now what I'm basically doing for myself, so I'm gonna go all the way down to about that carport, that little tiny house there. I'm gonna nail it to that right there. Then I'm gonna go all the way up, all the way down, come in on the other direction. Basically what I'm doing with it right now is give myself a little front yard for the kids to play. Because honestly, the Wild West is wild. I mean, coy wolves, rattlesnakes, scorpions, spiders. So you just gotta really just fence it up and have gates. I mean, that's the only way. Also with the cattle, how it's done out here in Arizona, it's your job to keep the cattle out, which, you know, they're pretty calm animals until they're spooked and you're on the back side of them and you hit a hoof. So we're just making sure, just layers of fencing here, just for my comfortability, especially with those damn snakes. I had 4 so far to deal with. I'm tired of dealing with snakes. I'm tired of going out of my front door and having to search the entire property, making sure there's no snakes. And then I find myself a rattlesnake, and now I'm stuck there trying to figure that situation out. It's not fun. I want to sip my coffee and enjoy my nature without it being at my front doorstep. So that's what we're doing here. As you can see, let's go a little further down. Basically, 2 T-posts wide is how wide this is. And then I have it so I dig it out, put in some rocks, big rocks, dry pour in some cement. I just put some powdered cement in there, fill the whole thing full of water, all seeps in there, it sets, put the dirt back. As you can see right here, I cut a line going all the way down. So that way I can seep it into the ground a little bit. And then I'm going to fill it back up, fill it pretty high on the back side. So once it's pretty high, you know, something's going to go right up to the edge, try digging at it. They're not going to get inside. And if they do, I can see it, fill it in, put the mouse trap, rat trap out, get rid of them. Because, come over here, this is basically how it works, okay? If you have a every hole, that's where a mouse, you know, usually a kangaroo mouse will be in there, inside one of these holes, okay? So what happens? The rattlesnake goes inside that hole. Rattlesnakes don't dig holes. They go inside the hole that the kangaroo mouse made, or one of those little ground squirrels, okay? So now you have the rattlesnake in that hole. And now he's getting food and he wants to stay there. And that's basically what happens. So if you ever see anything like this, you know, where it's like, especially you see these creosote bushes and you see all these little holes inside underneath like this is prime for rattlesnakes. I had my old land all cleared. I cleared everything down here. I cleared all of that out. All of this is cleared and flattened because I love the nature, But if you're just gonna sit on top of nature with not do anything, well then you're gonna have to live with these creatures. And I don't want to share my front door with rats and snakes. Just ain't doing it. So I had all this land cleared. That way I can see where everything is at. Because if you can't see, like this bush, you don't know what I don't know what's in this bush. You can't see through this grass. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if my kids are safe. And I didn't know it at first coming out here just as a tourist, but now to live out here full time, my mind works differently. I think differently. And I'll be driving to the grocery store, things like that, and snakes go right across the road certain times of year. And that's just a part of life out here. But you can't have all of this just brush, just this foliage in here, because you can't see. I don't know what's here. I can't go out my front door and look and say, oh, my kids are safe and everything is fine, because I don't know. And not knowing doesn't work for me. So I cleared the land, put up the snake fences, get rid of all the mice around the land, and that is the only way for me to do it. Like, I just can't cohabitate with rattlesnakes. I need my space. My first attempt on irrigation, which I just stabbed holes in this line, but actually there's a little piece that plugs in here. That's a little spray nozzle. What's Up with Tony taught me that one. So I kind of got the whole thing figured out, little irrigation line, how to plug one line in. It goes in, there's little pieces you take it and they branch off different lines. And I think that's what I'm going to have to start doing, because I'm getting to the point where trying to run around with a garden hose is getting a little too much. And it's getting all kinked up and where everything is, and the garden hose going over the plants, and it's just, so I'm going to do irrigation. Is definitely a project in the work. You ever want to grow something easy in the wintertime, grow a radish. This stuff just grows. And it grows and grows so easy, so quick. They just, within a month, you're already getting a good harvest. And I mean, they're just the best. We'll wash this in the house. This will be my stir fry. This is all my rabbit food down here. Like, comment, subscribe.